Bruno Mars, extremely popular singer. I'm a fan of his. This is why this story I think is so interesting. He's expected in Las Vegas today in court to make a plea agreement for a drug charge that he had earlier in the year. He's expected to plead guilty to possession of a controlled substance, that substance being cocaine. In exchange, his record's going to be expunged if he stays out of trouble for 1 year.
Bruno Mars might have 15 Grammys and a voice smoother than silk. But behind the Vegas lights and that megawatt smile, there's a storm brewing that fans never saw coming. Rumors are swirling that Bruno, yes, Mr. 24K Magic himself, is drowning in gambling debt so deep that he's allegedly performing night after night just to stay above water. And the number being tossed around? A jaw-dropping $50 million.
Bruno Mars may be losing a lot of money at MGM.
How much did he gamble? How much debt does the man have?
It also is not a good look for MGM to have one of their prize performers allegedly in debt to them.
Now, before you clutch your pearls, let's unpack how we even got here. Back in 2010, Bruno had his first major run-in with the law when he was arrested in Vegas for cocaine possession. He was just 24, riding high on his early fame, and hotel security reportedly found him with a little too much powder in the bathroom at the Hard Rock Casino. What followed was a PR scramble, a plea deal, some community service, and a mugshot he later admitted he grinned through because he was scared, drunk, or both. Relatable? Maybe.
Bruno Mars, extremely popular singer. He's expected in Las Vegas today in court to make a plea agreement for a drug charge, guilty to possession of a controlled substance.
I don't live my life with regrets, and I don't dwell on anything.
But the music industry? Not forgiving, especially when you're trying to become a global superstar. But he bounced back, as Bruno always does, and by 2016, he had signed a juicy residency deal with MGM in Vegas. Fans thought it was a sign he'd arrived, but now that deal is starting to look a whole lot more like a ball and chain. According to industry insiders, Bruno's so deep in debt to MGM's casinos that every dollar he earns on stage goes straight toward paying it off.
Does Bruno Mars owe the MGM a ton of money from gambling? I've talked to someone who claims that it's someone who would know, who claims it's true. Isn't that crazy that even a guy like Bruno Mars, who's just super wealthy, super famous, super talented
It doesn't
singer,
mean you gambler.
For MGM, he has no debt.
because MGM probably made some sort of a deal.
Right.
Right.
Because doesn't he have like some sort of, he has no debt with MGM. Wink, wink. So they have a deal.
One source even claimed he's making about $1.5 million per show, but every cent is being sucked right back to cover the IOUs piling up behind the scenes. MGM, for their part, is denying the whole thing. They released a clean-cut statement insisting their relationship with Bruno is built on mutual respect. Cute. But fans aren't buying it. Especially not when concert tickets are soaring past $480 a pop for nosebleed seats. And let's be real, it's Vegas. Nobody performs that many nights in a row unless there's something tying them to that stage.
Bruno Mars is back in the headlines, and apparently he owes MGM, the casino, $50 million.
And while MGM is trying to keep it classy, Bruno's out here making jokes like the rumors don't faze him at all. On Instagram, he posted about breaking records on Spotify and threw in a cheeky, "I'll be out of debt in no time." During his shows, he's been teasing fans with lines like, "Ever since those articles about me owing the casino dropped, you stopped picking up my calls." Boy knows how to spin a narrative, we'll give him that. But those close to him say the jokes are just that. Jokes to keep the cameras focused on the sparkle, not the struggle. According to Vegas insiders, Bruno's been seen at high-stakes tables with a drink in one hand and a poker face that can't hide the pressure. One viral TikTok even claimed he lost $17 million in a single night.
And this is the Pinky Ring Lounge in Las Vegas at the Bellagio. And even though this has been an open secret in Las Vegas for a couple of years now, News Nation just decided to publish that Bruno Mars may be losing a lot of money at MGM. His debts have gotten as high as $50 million, according to sources. MGM basically owns him, a Vegas insider said. Now, I had a high roller tell me that he spent an afternoon at the high limit pit with Bruno and watched him lose $17 million, but I could never say anything about that, nor do I know that to be a fact.
While that's unconfirmed, let's just say nobody's shocked. He's openly admitted in past interviews that he got into gambling young, even said he used poker to pay rent before he made it big. "You've got to lose to understand," he told GQ. Yeah, and Bruno might be understanding a little too well these days. And then there's the irony of it all. The same prosecutor who tried to nail Bruno back in 2010 for that cocaine charge, David Schubert. That man ended up getting caught for his own drug offenses just a few years later. crack possession, illegal firearms, the works, he was called a disgrace in court and sentenced to jail.
Schubert is no stranger to the courtroom, but on the other side of things, he led prosecution in some of the highest profile drug cases in Clark County, including Paris Hilton and Bruno Mars. Schubert lost his job as a prosecutor following his drug arrest last March and accepted a plea deal in the fall that would get him probation, something that angered the Clark County court system. Another judge took himself off the case in December, saying he didn't agree with it, and Judge Ellsworth called the deal offensive before handing down Schubert's jail sentence. The judge said as an attorney, Schubert took an oath to God to uphold the law, and he didn't do it. She called him a disgrace.
Meanwhile, Bruno was cleaning up at the Grammys and dropping platinum hits. Talk about a plot twist. Still, even with all the success, fans are starting to wonder if Bruno's career choices are his own anymore. Is he performing because he wants to, or because he has to? One Reddit thread went off the rails debating it, with one user writing, "He doesn't owe MGM $50 million. He's just getting paid $40 million instead of $90. Another chimed in, "He's the face of the Pinky Ring Lounge, not its owner." Don't get it twisted. And let's talk about that Pinky Ring Lounge. Launched at the Bellagio, it's flashy, fabulous, and dripping in Bruno Mars branding. But is it a smart business move or just another Vegas tie-in keeping him on the hook? He's practically a walking advertisement for MGM at this point. And while that might seem glamorous on the outside, insiders say he's become part of the machine, one that feeds off its biggest stars and doesn't let go until the last chip drops. Some fans are still rooting for him, hoping the debt rumors are just exaggerated gossip, but others are worried. They see a man who's slowly losing creative freedom, performing the same sets on loop under neon lights while whispers swirl about how much he's really making. Or not making.
Bruno Mars may be being exploited by a major casino in terms of his residency whilst exploiting his vices.
And if Bruno really is stuck, then that Vegas spotlight isn't just shining, it's burning. And through all this, Bruno's keeping the charm up front, the showman persona flawless. But the cracks are starting to show. He's joked about it on stage, shrugged it off in interviews, but the rumors won't die. And maybe they're not just rumors anymore. So what's the truth? Is Bruno Mars really working off a massive casino debt? Or is this just another Vegas tale spun by people who don't know when to fold? One thing's for sure, Bruno's still showing up, still killing it on stage, and still pretending like the only stakes are in the poker room. But behind that tuxedo, that $1 million smile, and those flashy dance moves, the question remains. Is he performing for love, or just trying to pay the house back before the lights go out? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is Bruno stuck in a glittery Vegas prison? Or is this all just smoke and mirrors? Hit that like, drop your theories, and don't forget to subscribe for more celebrity deep dives coming your way real soon.